The pandemic has fucked me up. Honestly, at the beginning, I thought I was one of the people who took it pretty well. I mean, of course, there was some angst because of the unknown situation, but when I returned to the countryside, it actually felt like a much needed break. I spent a lot of my time making art or being in nature, and of course I also started doing videos. Most afternoons, however, consisted of me just lazing around in the sun and drinking cheap wine while I did some of my last college courses on the side. I think I was genuinely happy, but bit by bit, that elevated feeling started to fade. Right now, almost a full year after this whole thing started, the only thing I really feel is restlessness. Like so many others, I've grown tired of my quarantine routine. I want to get up and do something, finally meet strangers again, start a new life, fly to a different country. Anything really, as long as it means a change of scenery. There's this empty feeling I have inside, and the more I try to fill it, the emptier I become. Seeing places that used to be full of life being all empty and deserted now just projects my inner feelings onto the real world. And I'd love to blame the virus on why I feel this way, but that's probably only half of it. The bigger part is probably my anxiety about the future and my inability to cope with it. I finished my bachelor's thesis now, so I will have to start working soon. Which, in itself, is not really the problem. I'm actually looking somewhat forward to that. But at the same time, I feel like I'm stuck in life. It seems like I've been 16 for the past 5 years now, and I finally want to grow up. But I don't know how, and the fear of not being able to handle my future is haunting me every second I'm not distracted by something else. I don't know what it is that I want to do with my life, and I don't really know how to choose either. So I push it away and tell myself tomorrow will be the day I decide. But it never is. I'm pretty sure it is this anxiety that causes my restlessness. I feel locked up, quite literally because of the pandemic, as well as in life. And the urge to break free and wander, lonely as a cloud, rises every minute. It makes me want to run around outside, but once I'm there, I only end up running around in circles in my own head. I try to cope with that by spending a lot of time in the forest, probably hoping to either come to some sort of revelation about myself and what it is that I want to do with my life, or at least to get some distance between me and anything that reminds me of my undecided future. And it does help a little bit, walking through the forest with the cold wind chipping away at my face and the mossy smell making its way up my nose, kind of makes me ease up for a short time. It's like a breath of fresh air every once in a while, but afterwards, it's back into the thick smog again. It's a temporary fix, but being alone with just the trees and my thoughts did not exactly help in getting rid of these fears either. Even when I'm outside to take a break from stressing over these things, my mind is constantly wandering and thinking of all the better things I could do right now. And while I do think that there's something really magical about nature, which I'm thankful for, I don't think it's enough to help me. The main problem is that even if that little bit of exercise outside helps me make my head a little less cloudy, just changing the scenery won't change my constant overthinking. As I said in my last video, it's a nice break from reality, but ultimately, here it is just another attempt at distracting myself. There are so many things that I want to do with my life. So many which I could in fact do, but no matter what it is that I look into, I'm afraid of committing to it. Even while writing this script, I've already stood up dozens of times to check my phone or aimlessly walk around my apartment to see if there's something better to do, something that seems a little more productive with real results. Just like the horizon, my possibilities seem endless, and maybe it's their sheer number that makes it so hard to decide. Maybe it's the oversaturation of choice that is so common nowadays. Either way, I'm still stuck where I started. I know that all I have to do is choose, but It's that tiny gap between choosing the thing and then doing something with it that currently seems like such an insurmountable obstacle to me, and that's why I'm still stuck. And the worst part is, every evening I just end up playing the same video games anyway. Not even making a bad choice, but opting for not choosing anything at all. And each time the game loads up and the screen goes black, I see this dark reflection of myself. It's like my inner void is staring back into me. Until the lights turn back on and I can once again distract myself with something else. I can probably only feel the restlessness now because I'm getting bored of my distractions, so the need to actually do something for once is coming out bit by bit. You can only mindlessly walk the same path or play the same game so many times before you start to lose your motivation. What I lack is a concrete goal behind those things. Maybe I should make a list and write down what I want to do in small steps so I always have something to work towards. Maybe I just need to get up from my ass and actually do something instead of wallow in my misery and self-pity. It's not surprising that I feel restless when all I ever do is nothing. Nothing at all. It's so hard to break out of this loop, but maybe what I really need is a hot shower to wash away all that grime on my soul and start fresh, so the restlessness won't get to me.